Warning, this video contains spoilers for Operation Timeguard Chapter 1 through 5. If you haven't watched the full story, check it out in the cards. With that being said, enjoy the video. So, Cookie Run's 4th anniversary update has brought us a completely new story about Gingerbread and his friends who, for some odd reasons, got accused for messing up the timeline. And it's up to Croissant Cookie to take Gingerbread back in time and face anomalies during his adventure on escaping the oven. Now this was interesting because 1 is about time travel, which I absolutely dig, and 2, we get a story of how Gingerbread and his friends actually escaped the oven. My job here is to review the story as a whole and speculate about what's going to happen in future chapters. Now, I just love speculations, and some of the theories I'm throwing out in this video might be a bit too absurd for Dev Sister standards, but hey, it's fun, so who cares? Anyway, let's go through the story and review each individual part as we go. In the beginning, we see Brave and his friends on a train, presumably going to find themselves a quote-unquote home for just us cookies, and then when they get off the train, they're suddenly arrested. Croissant Cookie made a sudden appearance out of nowhere. It's all animated, which is cool, I guess. She told Gingerbread that she knew how to fix the problem these guys in Season 2, and we're introduced to this new party called the Time Balance Department, responsible for monitoring and enforcing the safety of the timeline. And here we're introduced to the director of the TBD, who claims that Brave is guilty for messing up the timeline. It's said by Croissant Cookie that the director can come and go to any point in time in a flash, and that no one doubts the director. Remember that because we'll be coming back to it later on. Croissant Cookie and Gingerbread start their journey going back to time to when Brave first escaped the oven. And here's a quick point I want to make. Croissant told Brave to wear these goggles because if you don't, you might get lost in time. And I can't help but feel like that's just an excuse for us to be able to differentiate between present Brave and past Brave. I don't know, maybe something interesting will happen that utilizes the concept in future chapters, but I doubt it. Now we move on to the witch sounds. With a core 4, Gingerbread, Strawberry Cookie and Skater Cookie makes the attempt to escape the oven. We're introduced to a new concept called Anomaly, where basically something happened that prevented the game from proceeding the story in hopes to find a new home, which in this case, someone locked the window, preventing them from escaping. Present Brave and Croissant go back to the point where the anomaly hasn't happened yet, and then comes our job in the new event to collect these time energy things and solve puzzles to fix time. I can make another video covering the gameplay of the new event in and of itself, but that's for another day. After the anomaly is fixed, the story proceeds as normal and the game suddenly finds Zombie Cookie? Again, this seems to be a thing that just happens for no reason whatsoever. But then again, we'll have to wait for the full story to come out before making any judgment. Maybe Zombie Cookie was there for a reason? I don't know. After the witch's house, we get to Jellybug Forest. Now, another quick point I want to make. The game is actually going through all the trophy race lands, in case you haven't figured that out yet. And they made a cookie that is supposed to unlock when you reach the corresponding land. That is about a gameplay perspective. We unlock Fairy Cookie in Land 2, hence why the game meets her there. There were backstories hinting into why the cookie is supposed to be there, so you get a something. The game has a mode chat with Fairy Cookie, and can I just say that, oh my god, they really tried to emphasize the fact that she's tiny. So tiny that the jelly worms couldn't see her, but could see the other cookies posing as a threat to them. I mean, when playing as Fairy Cookie, she's basically the same size as the other cookies, and even in the screenshot on the story itself, Fairy Cookie doesn't seem that tiny. Maybe because she's closer to the POV, then again I'm really nitpicky here, so let's move on. They ran away from the jelly worms, hid under a flower, but Bright got caught by one of them, which was the anomaly. So we face us, back to normal, we move on to Coconut Coast / Faraway Ocean. The anomaly in Faraway Ocean is that Zombie Cookie got caught up in the waves and couldn't be saved by Ninja Cookie, all while everyone was searching for his missing shurikens. One thing that stood out for me on this part is the fact that Ninja just straight up ditched his shurikens to prioritize saving Zombie, and they did it in such a cool way. Now I know this is nothing special, it's just another sacrifice, a same person cliche situation, but I thought it was cool anyway. At the end, we learned that the reason Zombie Cookie came sprinting into the ocean was because it saw a shell and wanted to collect it. That shell was never brought up again, and to be honest, I think it was just another excuse for something bad to happen so we can fix it, so it can be interesting and stuff. Now comes Crystal Pudding Underground, where the gang unfortunately went down the wrong path, where Cream Puff Cookie wasn't in and got trapped by the Crystal Puddings. Now this whole part isn't all that exciting, one main reason being that it was pretty short compared to the other chapters, but I guess it's oh my god, look at Cream Puff Cookie, who hurt you? Anyway, another nitpick I want to point out is that Alchemist Cookie just decided to make this place her alchemy lab. I don't know, I just felt like there could have been a little bit more to it, I don't know. The interesting bit comes when Croissant couldn't activate her timecraft, so Timekeeper Cookie, someone who was watching from far away, had to step in and help. And that's where we get to the final chapter, where we actually meet them. Her, him, I don't know, I'll just say them so I don't offend anybody. In Time Rift, it's revealed that Timekeeper Cookie, someone who can control time and do God knows what, has been watching Croissant and Present Brave all this time. Eventually, their curiosity has been piqued, and so they brought both of them to where they live. Oh my god. I'm just going to call her she because always they dumb is confusing, okay? Now, Timekeeper is an interesting cookie. From a lore perspective, we don't know much about her yet, but there were lots of subtle hints that could be telling more about her than you might have thought. First off, she appears to know about the time balance department, and here I quote, such a boring and dull place. Now that immediately got me thinking, Croissant, who's a part of the TBD, doesn't know who Timekeeper is, correct? We also know that Timekeeper is always watching in, over, and through time, so maybe that's why she knows about the TBD, but to me that feels cheap. What if Timekeeper used to be a part of the TBD, but left before Croissant joined? No, they probably keep a lock over the director to the TBD. Wait, director? Oh yeah, remember the director? Someone who's able to come and go to any point in time in a flash? That sounds eerily similar to Timekeeper Cookie, someone who's also able to control time and fix anything. Now at this point there are two characters that were foreshadowed throughout the story but we never actually met, which are the director and the culprit. Now the culprit could be Roguefort for all we know, but what about the director? There's not really any lead as to who the director is. Timekeeper could have had a relationship with the director, and then conflicts or whatever happened, causing her to leave and the director to basically erase all information regarding her on the TBD, hence why Croissant doesn't know about her. Heck, maybe someone could have been dead. But yeah, this is all most certainly interesting, and yes, I know it's really far-fetched and it's not what DevSips usually does for their stories, but it's always fun to speculate about what's going to happen next, even if it might not be true. In part 2 of the Time Rift, Timekeeper decided to give Croissant a little encouragement, and we have the really cool scene that happens between the two. I'll be honest, it's one of the baddest moments I've seen in all stories they've made. This and that Sugar Tiara one where the anglerfish talks to Lobster Cookie are the better ones, yeah. But it also left me wondering. Throughout the story, we learn that Croissant Cookie is very insecure and lacks self-confidence. She's a cookie who's always trying to be better, and when things don't go her way, when something goes horribly wrong, like that timecraft situation in Crystal Pudding Underground, she downgrades herself and loses any motivation in moving forward. Hence why she needed a little encouragement from Timekeeper. But is this one line that really gets to me? Quote, "Will I become as strong as you one day?" That line right there could be hinting at the fact that something major might happen to Croissant in future chapters. Like, she could become the next Timekeeper for all we know. Maybe a new costume, I don't know. As I said, all we can do is speculate and wait for the next chapters to come out before actually criticizing any minor details throughout the story. So, that was Operation Timeguard, chapters 1 through 5. It's a solid 9 out of 10 for me as of now, and who knows, it might get better, or it might not. What were your thoughts on the story? Did you think about it as much as I did, or did you just gloss over it and focus more on the gameplay itself? In any case, I'd love to hear your opinions, so leave a comment, discuss about it. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and see you next time. Goodbye.